create apertures for the adventure. Now, the word aperture is just a fancy word for gap or hole, okay? When it comes to being self-employed, it is the opportunity to create and curate the life you want and still make people happy and really just get a taste of heaven on earth, okay? Now, what do we mean when we mean apertures, okay? When we're creating holes. One way to create an aperture, also too, before we go into the meat of the video, this channel is about tips, tricks, and techniques to take you to being successfully self-employed, okay? To have your income go up whenever you want and you're not at the mercy of somebody else. And we'll talk about that in this video, but one way to create gaps and holes for yourself, apertures, for the self-employment adventure as you climb the self-employed success mountain, is to make room for a raise when you get hired, okay? Recently got hired by someone and they were skittish about the price, and after consoling them said, hey, this is the monthly price, but if we do a good job, we're looking for a raise, and they were okay with that. And this is important. Timing is everything. It's important to say at the beginning because people don't like surprises, especially financial surprises. So if you tell them, hey, this is the monthly price, but if we do a good job, and one way to do this is to have quarterly quality checks, where you just voluntarily have people you work with check your work. And if it's a good job, you're in line for a raise. And after 2 quality checks, this is something that is the plan. After 2 quality checks, you get a raise, and that's it. So that's the first way to create apertures in your business. And you create these apertures to make the best life you can possibly have. You know, the Bible says you're dead, and after 70, 80 years, you're probably going to not be on this planet anymore. So we want to optimize the time here. You know, personally, if life can be enjoyed twice as much as it's endured, then that's a success. That's a happy, fulfilling life, because life is hard and you're going to have to deal with different situations. And also too, stay tuned for the very first prize. So the first aperture is to make room for raises, and say this at the beginning. Timing is everything. The second way to create an aperture for the adventure is work remotely. Now, it's obviously not possible for everyone to work remotely, but if you do anything technical, such as being a lawyer or being a graphic designer or being an illustrator, you can do all these things remotely. You don't ever have to go into the office. Now, there may be times where you have to go in the office, but I'm talking about jobs that are 99% remote. You can do your work from Hawaii if you have clients in Idaho, or if you have clients in South Dakota, okay? That's the second aperture to create for yourself, is work remotely after being able to open yourself to raises, you know, when the time comes, okay? And the next aperture, and we're just gonna talk about 3, is don't charge hourly. Okay, you only get so many hours in the day. When you charge hourly, you constrain yourself to a certain income because you can only work a certain amount of hours. Now, when you first start working with people, they're going to be like, "Hey, how many hours can you work?" And you gotta start from that point. But the key word is truncate, diminish, decrease the amount of time that you put into things without losing any value. Okay, gonna say that again. Don't work hourly. That's the third aperture. And there's more apertures besides this. Okay, but these are just 3. These are just to get your mind going as you're applying and doing work, being self-employed, is that these apertures are going to help you have a better life. Being able to ask for raises, working remotely, not working hourly. Do you see where we're going? You're tearing down the structure, the lies, the strictures you've been forced to have, okay? At a job, you usually don't get to decide how much money you get to make or even ask about raises, and you're at the mercy of somebody else. Second is that you don't get to choose, you know, if you're going to work remotely. You have to work on site a lot of times. And third is you have to work hourly. You know, being self-employed is the exact opposite of working for somebody. So use it and get it to your advantage. You might say, how are they going to let me do this? Okay, this leads to our surprise, which is that if you produce results, you're going to get a check. And trust me, there's a lot of people out there that will let you work remotely as long as you get the work done. Because look, you know why? Because you're not that big of a priority to them. I'm gonna say that again. The reason why you can create the life you want is because people are so worried about 100 different things. You're a very tiny speck that you can have a life where you're the star of your own show, but you're a fifth string water boy in terms of their priority when they hire you. You're important, but they're not important. They got other things. They've got kids, they've got bills, they got houses, they got higher ups to keep happy. You're very small, and that smallness actually makes you big because it helps you to kind of fall back, not be noticed, and create the life you want and not hurt anybody. Okay? That's why you can do this. You can work remotely. You can charge what you want. Okay? You can not work hours because all they want is results. They don't care how much, honestly, they don't care how much time you put into it. They care about, is it right? Can I use it for something effective? Can I use this to get to an effective place? Okay, so remember that. And there are other apertures, okay? Another aperture is like your dress code. You don't have to wear crazy clothes when you're self-employed. Being self-employed is amazing. And your income can truly go up whenever you want, pretty much. And it is hard to get started. A lot of times when you get started being self-employed, it's scant. You don't make any money. And if you don't give up, you'll eventually get to where you want to go. So I'll leave you with that. But remember, create apertures for the adventure. We talked about 3 today, which were talk about make room for raises, work remotely, and don't charge hourly. We talked about all 3 of these different aspects of your business before, but now we're going to combine them and classify them as apertures. Okay? And there are more, as we just talked about. But yeah, so use those to your advantage and know that you can make a really awesome life for yourself because the time is brief and it goes by quickly. All right. And lastly, as always, unsuccessful people make decisions based on current situations, but successful people, you hopefully make decisions based on where you want to be. Okay.